Before we start our meditation course, let's pay respect to the Buddha. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Good afternoon, other Dhamma friends and the members and devotees of temple and all the Dhamma friends around the world. I hope you are fine and well. This is our second meditation course. As I said earlier, this meditation course is not totally different from the earlier one, nor as well as same as. In fact, this meditation course is a continuation of the earlier meditation course. Of course, we cannot teach other meditation as well. The complete meditation technique is found only in this Mahasatipaṭṭhāna Sutta. All the meditation techniques around the world are one way or another based on this mindfulness, or the four foundations of the mindfulness. So today I will focus more on teaching. Then let us try to match the teachings with the practice. As we all of know, the four foundations, usually it is translated the four foundations of the mindfulness. It's a contemplation on the body, and a contemplation of feelings or sensations, a contemplation on the mind, our consciousness, and a contemplation on the Dhamma objects. Today is first week of this meditation course. I'll discuss the contemplation of the body. In fact, the meditation objects are not new to us. The Buddha just reminds to be mindful on these meditation objects. These objects are most familiar with us, nothing new to us. The only one thing is we are not paying attention to these objects. That is why in these days it is translated self-awareness. So mindfulness is sometimes it's translated as self-awareness. Yeah, is it true? In this sutta, the Buddha reminds us to have more awareness on ourselves. We call it meditation object. It's nothing. What is happening in our body, what we are doing using our physical body, what we are feeling, how we feel, and what sort of consciousness we're keeping in our mind, and what sort of mentality is in our mind. Then if we are focusing, or if we are being mindful of these, it's called self-awareness. Self-awareness. So today, I'm going to discuss the contemplation of the body. Actually, the body means the whole body. The whole physical body means Kaya, the whole physical body is called body. When we meditate on all the activities of the physical body. This is called contemplation on the body. First of all, it's not anyone's body. This is our body. So what is the first meditation object? Under this teaching, the Buddha guide first meditation object. This one is, as you, all of you know that, breathing. Breathe in and breathe out. This object is nothing new to us. Since we were born, we breathe in and breathe out until we die. This bodily functioning will be with us all the time. That is why this becomes our primary object. The Buddha state first bodily object. The first bodily object is the breathing. So in our tradition, it's a Mahasi meditation technique. The Mahasatipaṭṭhāna encouraged the meditators to meditate on the rising and falling movement of the stomach too. Some may argue about it. This is not the Buddha's teaching. In fact, this is the same. Because of the in-out breath, our stomach rises and it falls down. So anyhow, the Anapana in Bali is a meditation of being mindful on our breathing. This is our first meditation object. So in the Mahasatipaṭṭhāna Sutta, the Buddha said, okay, just focus on your breathing. It's the first step. We meditate on the breath. Where can we focus on? Traditionally, all commentaries always focus here. Just a nostril around here. Since we are beginners, we cannot meditate on other ways. So just need to meditate on these nostrils. When the air goes in, just take a note in. When the air comes out, just take a note out. This is the first step of breathing meditation. In, out, in, out, in, out. While we're meditating, sometimes the mind goes off. This is natural. It's natural. It's nothing new as well. When the mind goes off, as soon as you know that your mind is not here, put effort in just try to put your mind back and focus on your breathing. Just in, out, in, out, in, out. Without effort, you won't be able to focus on it. The same way, if you put too much effort, sometimes your mind gets distressed. So we must remember, physically we have to be relaxed. I'm sorry, since I introduced in the earlier week, I didn't explain about how to sit. Okay, now let me explain about the sitting position in brief. In meditation, the most important part is keeping our upper body upright. This is the most important one. The keeping upper body upright means if you are sitting on a chair, you must not lean against the chair heavily. If you lean against chair heavily, you lost your energy, you lost your interest. So you must keep upper body upright. Then two hands, and we always place in that way. One place or another. Then our legs. I have no argument about that. Some people may sit in that way, pressing on one another. So it's called cross-legged. But traditionally, we do not press on one another. So in order to avoid this problem, we push one leg a little bit forward. Then the two legs are not pressing on. So the blood circulation stays okay, no problem. So in that way we sit. keeping cross-legged, but if possible, if you feel comfortable, push one leg ahead a little bit. Then we can avoid pressing on one another. Then keeping our upper body upright and then placing our hands. This is no big issue. You can place in that way, you can place in that way. If you are right-handed, I think you will place in that way. If you are left-handed, probably you might put your hands like that. It's no problem, no big deal. Then closing our eyes, and most of the time we should close our eyes, it's true. Maybe when we open our eyes, that may keep us alert for some degree, but when we are seeing things, we cannot concentrate better. Sometimes our mind gets distressed more. So only when we close our eyes, it seems that we can concentrate better. So this is our sitting position. So remember, when we are sitting, we are not doing any physical activities. That is why our breath becomes our primary object, not because of the other reasons. When you are sitting, we do not have any physical activities. That is why we meditate on the breathing. That's me. Okay, when I finish, you understand what I mean. Okay, when you are sitting, we do not have any other physical activities. That's why we just focus on breathing. Must be relaxed physically and mentally. Effort must not be too strong, must not be too loose. In that way. Then for the beginners, we just focus around here. When the air goes in, at least touch our skin. We cannot see the air, but we sense the air strike our nostrils. Then just take a note when the air goes in, and when the air comes out, take a note out. This is our meditation object. In, out, in, out, in, out. This is what we have to do. When the mind goes off, once you know that your mind is not here, just bring back and put your mind back on here. Must try again and again. In Pali, it's called anupassana. That one, it's not easy one, but it's not too difficult. So, it's not too easy, not too difficult. Not too easy to do, even for not so energetic people. It's not too difficult, even for those who are energetic enough. So, just relax, focus here. This is the first step of meditation on the breathing. Okay, second step. While we are meditating on the breathing, the breath sometimes changes. When we do not have a stable and a profound, deep concentration, sometimes the breath are not stable. Sometimes that may be too long, maybe too short. Sometimes the breath, the speed of the breath keep on changing, something like that. The breath is unstable. Anyhow, whether it's stable or not, smooth or not, a meditator just have to take a note of the breath. When our concentration is not strong enough and deep enough, our breath is not stable, you are still paying attention to your breath. While you are paying attention to the breath, immediately your normal breath may tend to change the short breath. Something like that. Okay, it's just nothing wrong, just don't worry. When the breath are short, just take a note that we need to know that this is a short breath. When the breath is long, we don't do anything, we don't try to create anything. However, the breath is long. Don't do anything, we don't have to do anything either. We just focus on the long breath. So naturally, the breath keep on changing, short and long. First of all, it's not stable, but slowly the breath tends to be stable. This is a bit long and a smooth breath. Okay, so we are not doing to be short. We are not trying to be long. It's naturally is happening. Okay, when it's happening, just need to take a note. When the breath is long, just take a note. Now, when the breath is short, just take a note to short. This is the second step of the meditation on the breathing. First step, we do not know. We do not know about the long and short because we just focus here on the nostrils. So we, at the moment, at the step, in this situation, we know only in and out. First step, in and out. If you know in breath and out breath, that is enough. But we pay more attention and we are trying to, and we are putting effort to meditate on our breathing. And the second level, the second step, we come to see the different duration or the different length of the breath. Then that means some breaths are long and some breaths are short. This is also nothing new. We don't have to do anything. When the breath is short, just take a note, it's a short breath. When the breath is long, just take a note, long breath. Then that means our concentration and mindfulness level is higher. First, we know only here, in and out. Second, we know in, out. Sorry, long and short. Long and short. Second level. Okay, we don't have to change the meditation object. We just need to pay more attention to the object. If we pay more attention to the object, and if we can concentrate on this the same meditation object, we come to understand about this object differently. Okay. First of all, we know only the in and out. Second, we come to realize some breaths are short and some breaths are long. The second level, we come to realize it because we are keep on focusing on the object. Not only that, it's not in the teaching. Sometimes the air comes out from the left side. Sometimes the breath comes out on the right side. You may even notice that too. But it's not mentioned in the teaching, but it's only long and short. So my experience, if you pay attention to the breath, so-called the wind element, it's not always come out from both nostrils equally. Sometimes the air comes out from the right side. Sometimes goes in through the left. Even this is different. Anyhow, what I'm trying to say is, while we are paying attention to our breath, then we come to know about short breath and long breath. We don't have to do anything. Just take a note. This is the short breath and this is the long breath. It's the second step. And the next step, the next level, Sabbakaya in Pali, we call full breath. Then that means the whole breath. We meditate not only here, not only the short and long breath, then meditate the whole full breath. Then that means the air goes in until the lungs. And after the lungs, the air comes out. Meditator has deeper concentration and a more profound mindfulness. That's why he or she is able to see the whole breath. At this level, usually we have peace of the mind. Not only the short and long breath, at the time, a meditator could see the full breath. in breath, out breath, the entire breath. This is the third level of meditation on the breathing, the entire breath. But of course, if you are meditating on the entire breath, sometimes you may lose your energy because this meditation is so subtle, so gentle, and you're so familiar with the meditation, and you feel very calm and peaceful. Usually, meditator might fall asleep at this situation because they are very familiar with the meditation object. So at that time, we need to put more and more efforts. Otherwise, meditators might doze off during meditation time. So, okay, anyhow, first of all, we see only the in and out. The second, we come to see short breath and a long breath. And the third level, then we see, meditators see the entire breath, the full breath. This is the third level. And meditators just pay attention. When concentration is deeper and stronger and more profound, the breath tends to be smoother. This one's the fourth level. The breath becomes smoother. Smoother means sometimes too smooth to perceive. A meditator may even think that you will stay breathing or not. Of course, if I stay breathing. So long as we are alive, we are breathing. However, when concentration is profound, the breath tends to be so smooth. Sometimes it seems too smooth to perceive. In Pali, it's Pasambayangaya, peace. It seems that the breath becomes ceased. Of course, it's still breathing. However, because of the concentration, the breath is so smooth at this level. It's just merely breathing. Earlier, the breath sometimes short, sometimes long. Then later, the breath at this level, the breath becomes too smooth. Just merely breathing. Sometimes it's too smooth to perceive. So at this moment, of course, a peace of mind will be there. Smooth, very extremely smooth breath. Okay, this level. And the fifth level of the goal, a meditator does not change the meditation object. He or she is still focusing and meditating on the breathing. But his view, his understanding on the breath is always changing. After seeing that, the meditator come to see not only the breathing, not only the wind element. The later part, meditators see two objects. This means the meditation object and meditating mind. Meditation object, since we are meditating on the breathing, so meditation object here means the breath, or technically, or the wind element. This is a meditation object. The same way, a meditator at this time, at this situation, also see his mind. The mind is observing on this meditation object. So at this level, meditator is seeing two objects. Let us say, meditation object and meditative mind. In Pali, the Mahasatipaṭṭhāna Sutta is called internal and external. External means the air element. Internal means mindfulness or meditative mind. So that is why at this level a meditator is meditating or seeing these two objects, nothing more. Meditating or meditation object, which is mean the air element, and meditating mind, these two. So at this level, meditator has nothing except these two objects. Two objects here means the air and meditating mind, these two objects. Of course, technically we might say it's Nama and Rupa. Okay, never mind, this is so technical. In practice, at this moment, at this level, meditator is experiencing only these two. In his mind, he or she has only these two objects, meditation object and meditating mind. Okay, meditation object is still the same. Just view or just understanding on the breath, is it changing? Object is the same, but our view on the object is changing, maybe more concentrated and more urgent and more urgent. We pay more attention. That's why our understanding or our views on the object is changing. Okay. So at this level, meditator not only seeing the object, meditator is seeing meditating mind too. Pair and pair. Meditation object, meditating mind. Meditation object and meditating mind. Meditation object and meditating mind. So these two objects are contemplated by later mind. Okay. So at this level, meditator has two objects. Let me summarize it. We are still meditating on the breath, breathing. First, we meditate on our breath. First level, we know only here, touching point. The air touch here, we meditate. In, out, in, out, in. It's the same meditation object, but if we are keep on paying attention to our meditation object, then we come to know, the breath are not always the same. Sometimes it is short. Okay, nothing to do. Just take a little shot. The breaths are not the same. Sometimes the breaths are long. So at the second level, meditators come to know these two, the length of the breath. Some breaths are long, some breaths are short, some breaths are long. Some breaths are shallow, some breaths are deep. See differently. Then the meditator put more effort in order to see the entire breath and out. So it's another understanding. He's keep on following. He's seeing the full breath, the entire breath. Okay. The same meditation object, meditators keep on paying attention to the object, then we come to see the another level. It's too smooth. The meditation object, so-called the breath, is not changing too often. Short breath, long breath. At that time, meditation object is very stable and very smooth. Sometimes it's too smooth to perceive. That's why meditator may think, I am not breathing, or maybe he might think, I lost my breath. In fact, he or she does not lose breath. The only one thing is that the breath are too smooth to perceive. The breath stay there. Then after that, meditator come to see not only the external object, so-called the breath. Meditator came to know, came to understand the meditating mind too. So it's called internal as well as external. Meditator is meditating these two objects, the air element and meditating mind. The air element is observing the meditating mind. These two objects are observed by other mind. In that way, meditator is doing and meditating on his breath. Then finally, the meditator not only seeing these two objects. These two objects mean meditation object and the meditating mind. While you are meditating on these two objects, meditator come to see it differently. The object starts and goes away. The same way, meditating mind also arises and disappears. The air comes in, before it's ending, it's end here. Then while it's ending, another thing starts again. So all these are rising and falling continuously. The wind element is same. The breath has no other things, only has two natures. Rising and falling, rising and falling. The air comes in, before it's finished, another out-breath starts again. Then before out-breath going to end, another breath still starts again. In this way, rising and falling are happening continuously. The same way, another mind is observing in breath. The mind also sees. Then also another mind arises, so-called out-breath, noting on the out-breath. This mind also changes. And another mind arises. In that way, all the meditation object is keep on changing. Meditating mind also keep on changing. But changing in which way? Nothing, only these two natures. Meditator is just experiencing only these two natures, arising and falling away. The air element rises and falls away. The mind focusing on this breath also rises and goes away. So at this level, a meditator is experiencing or seeing only these two natures, not even the object, the nature of the object. What is the nature of the object? Rising and falling, rising and falling. At this level, if someone is striking for the jhana, he is going to the jhana. Or if someone is going to so-called vipassana, this is the beginning of the vipassana. This is the meditating on the breath. Nothing, we just focusing, we just meditating on the same breath. While we are focusing and while we are meditating on the same breath, our view and our understanding and our knowledge on the objects keep on changing. Finally, a meditator come to realize only these two natures of the object, which are rising and falling away. That's all. So, like I discussed in earlier meditation course, first of all, meditator is meditating on the object. Slowly, the meditator is seeing the characteristic of the object. At this level, the final level, meditator is seeing the characteristic of the object. So what is the characteristic of the object? It's a rising and falling away, that's all. All the objects has only these two natures, nothing more, nothing less. Whatever it arises, it ceases to be seen. Rising and falling. Any and every meditation object has only these two natures. So this is what the meditator come to realize after meditating on the breath. This is called contemplation on the body, but not all complete yet. So this first one, the Buddha teaches, the anapana, meditation on the breath. This. A final level meditator does not have any other things. only two natures, that's all. It's I'm breathing. No. This is just nature. It's naturally happy, it's naturally cease. There's no person, there's nothing at all. There's no external agent who is doing it. Nothing. The conditional things are happening the way they are. And they are departing the way they should be. This is called meditation or breathing. Okay? It's quite, maybe, let me summarize it again. We are meditating on the breathing. First of all, we know only here the air strikes our nostril, and then when the air comes out, strike again out. This is our meditation object. In, out, in, out. Okay. When our concentration is not strong enough, deep enough, or maybe we do not have a concentration at all, at the time, the breath tends to be unstable. Sometimes might be, or sometimes might be like this, or sometimes quite stable, short. Sometimes it's quite long. Anyhow, when the breaths are short, just take a note, it's a short breath. When the breaths are long, just take a note, it's long. This is second level. We are still meditating on our breathing. The same object, we don't change the meditation object. We're just trying to pay more attention, pay more focus, and then trying to analyze it. Okay, that's the next moment we come to see the whole breath. The air goes out here, the length, and it's come out again. It's the entire breath. After meditating on the entire breath, our breath becomes so smooth and very, very smooth. Sometimes it's too smooth that sometimes you may see that you have no breath. In fact, that is a breath. But it is so smooth, sometimes too smooth to perceive. So at the time, a meditator may think, I am not breathing, or I lost my breath. In fact, he or she does not lose the breath. The breathing of the breath is there, still the same. But later, we are still meditating on the very fine and very smooth breath. Then, meditators see not only one object, two objects, internally, externally. Internally and externally, I mean, the breath is an external object. Another meditating mind is knowing that object. Meditating mind and meditation object. While we are meditating on the breathing, meditator come to see the two objects. Meditating mind and meditation objects. Then the last part, not only the object, meditator come to see the nature of the object. What are the natures of the object? Arising and disappearing. One is going to the air, to go and finish. Then another air comes again. The old air and the new air keep on changing. Nothing still the same. The same way, the noting mind or meditating mind also changing. So meditator finally come to see the two natures, rising and then falling away, arising and then falling away. At this time, technically, in the Buddhist teaching, we call it anicca, impermanence. However, a meditator may not know all these words in Pali. Anyhow, he or she is experiencing that one, arising and falling away. So you may ask, Bhante, how long will it take in order to achieve it? We are struggling even to concentrate on this in, out, in, out, in, out. Is it very difficult to say time? For some people, it doesn't take much. They could finish, they could reach in short periods. Some people may take longer. So for this question, we cannot say exactly how long will it take. It depends. Okay. So this is the first meditation object related to our body. Then also this object is most familiar with us. We are always breathing, but we fail to notice on our breath. That's why the object, whether we are sleeping or lying down or sitting, this object always exists. That is why breath or breathing become our primary meditation object. While we are meditating on the breathing, we must sit down. Then that means if you are sitting down, your primary meditation object will be breathing. This is the most important meditation object, but it's not only one object. We still have other objects too. So in the second meditation technique, second group is called our postures. There are 4 postures stated in Mahasatipaṭṭhāna Sutta. What are these? You don't have to know, you don't have to be so intelligent to know that. These are what we always do that. After meditating the technique on the breathing, the Buddha teaches meditation on our postures. We have only main postures. These are sitting, standing, lying down, walking. That's all. In our daily life, most of the time we spend our time in that way. Sometimes we sit. You sit in your office. Sometimes you walk. During the time, sometimes you may stand. But sometimes we lie down. This is our main postures of human being. 4 postures. Sitting. I have discussed. When we are sitting, we do not have other physical activities. That is why we are supposed to meditate on our breathing, sitting. And how about the standing? If we are standing straight, if we do not do anything, then we do not have other activities to meditate as well. If we do not have other physical activities, then we just meditate on our breathing. Of course, while you are standing, at the same time you may be shaking, then there will be some other actions too. If you are shaking your hand, you can be mindful on your hand. However, when we are standing, we do not have any particular physical action. That is why, even while we are standing, our meditation object should be the same as sitting, breathing. How about our posture, lying down? When you're lying down, we do not have any particular action too. If we don't have other actions, we just still can meditate on our breathing. So whether we are sitting or standing or lying down, we can use our breath as meditation object. This is our daily life. Okay, but the only one different is walking. But when we are walking, at least we need action. action of steps. If we do not move our steps, there's no movement. So when we are walking, that is physical activities. This is so-called the steps. That is why, as I discussed earlier meditation class, when we walk, our meditation object must not be the breathing. Our meditation object must be the action of the movement of our steps. That is why when we walk, we change our meditation object. This is also contemplation on the body. We are discussing under the name of the contemplation of the body. Breath is a function of the body, so it's also body. Now we are meditating on the steps. It's also our body, bodily movement. Like I said, all the human beings, our human beings have only the great four postures: sitting, standing, lying down, and walking. Sitting or lying down or standing. We do not have any special bodily actions. That's why we can still meditate on our breathing. However, when we are walking, we have main physical activities. These are steps. So long as we are focusing on our body, our bodily action, or bodily movement, it can still be considered as contemplation on the body. So there's no difference. So that's why meditation is not anything special. It's just trying to be mindful of what is happening and what we are doing. So in the walking meditation, we meditate on our steps. The technique is the same as our breathing. First of all, let us say, we just meditate on our step. Name all the steps. So called. First of all, we meditate left, right. When we are stepping right, take a note right. When you are stepping left, take a note left. And that way, right, left, right, left, right. Yes, we are still focusing on the movement of our steps. At that time, our step becomes slower. That's why we change. We do not meditate on the left and right anymore. We meditate on the stages of the step. Lifting, putting down, lifting, putting down. The same object, but view or understanding on the object change. Okay. When the step becomes slower and slower, we have to meditate more and more in details. Lifting, moving forward, lowering down, or maybe stepping and then pressing on the floor and that way. So when the step becomes slower and slower, our noting mind becomes more and more details. Until now, meditator is still meditating on the meditation, the names of the meditation. Or finally, meditator skip. Meditator does not see all these things. Meditator is seeing the whole process of the steps. Same like when we meditating on the breath, when finally, or when concentration is deeper, we see the full breath, the whole process of the breath, without names, without differentiating. The same way, when a meditator has deeper concentration, he or she concentrates the whole process of the step. At that time, even the names may not appear to his mind. The whole process of the step. So first of all, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. Then lifting, putting down, lifting, putting down, lifting, putting down. Then maybe lifting, moving forward, putting down, lifting, moving forward, putting down. Then after that, lifting, moving forward, lowering, pressing, lifting, moving forward, lowering, pressing in that way. And while meditating in that way, meditator just see the whole process of the mind, the whole process of the steps. When concentration is deeper, not even the process of the steps. What is it doing it? So intention. First of all, let us say intention. Before we lift, the intentions are there, our mentality. Because after we have intention, we put effort. Only we put effort, our leg is lifted. It's functioning, not simple one. Because we always do that, then we thought it's too simple. In fact, yes, of course it's simple, but we have to function. The first of all, the mind or the intention to lift our leg or my leg. Because of the intention, the other efforts, the other mentalities associated with the intention, then put effort. That's why the physical body, so-called our leg, is lifted. But let us see, when a meditator is more and more concentrated, he or she does not only seeing the process of the legs, the process of the steps, he or she sees what is behind this object, what is behind this movement, what is doing to move it, to lift up in that way. So at this situation, meditator is internal or external. Process is the external object. Internal, note in mind. The same as here, meditator come to see internal object and external object. Or we might say meditation object and meditating mind. Nothing is different, all the same. No matter what the object is, these objects has only two natures, so-called arising and falling away. Rising and falling away. So under this category, the Buddha teaches the four postures. These four postures are nothing new to us, we always do. So when we are trying to be mindful on this posture, sitting, yes, no other spiritual activities, we just meditate on the breathing. Lying down, we do not have any other activities, just we focus on the breathing. Same way standing, we do not have any spiritual activities, so we just meditate on the breathing. However, when we are walking, we have some spiritual activities, so-called the steps. That's why when walking, we move focus on the steps. While if we meditate on the steps, object is the steps, but mindfulness and clear comprehension or effort, energy, all are the same. We have to pay attention. If we pay attention to our meditation object, more or less our view of object is changed. Saying like we are meditating on the breath. We are meditating on the steps, names of the steps, the movement. Then what is it doing to move? What is it doing to lift our leg? Then meditators see meditation object as well as meditating mind. Final is the same, no matter what is meditation object or meditating mind. Any object has only these two natures. All the object in that here rises, then falls away. Rising and falling away, these two natures. So under here, the Buddha teach, under the contemplation of the body, the Buddha teach four postures. And The third stage, stay under the contemplation of the body. This maybe we call it small activities. These are small activities. In these small activities, just trying to be mindful, just trying to take a note what we are doing. From these activities, so like as even when you're walking, turning around, itching, scratching, all these are called small activities. Movement of our hands, movement of our legs, but it's not like walking. Now I'm meditating, and I feel itchy, then I say, I have to scratch when I'm itchy, if I cannot take it any longer. This is called small activities. Sometimes, even in our daily life, we may need to look like this. Sometimes we may need to look like all these are small activities. So what the Buddha teaches here is be mindful on your small activities, including you are eating or taking shower, or you are having lunch, having dinner, or going to somewhere, or doing something, or meeting someone. All these are small activities, including our daily small activities. So these are also our contemplation of the body. Then that means meditation object is related to our body, or our body itself is our meditation objects. So here, small activities like eating. Maybe as a monk, we are adjusting our robe, or we are wearing the robe. These are small activities. We are not always doing. We do only when we have necessity. Then that means, for example, what the Buddha advised, okay, when you are wearing the robes, is be mindfully wear the robes. This is your action. Okay, I'm putting my robe back, wearing my robe, and then I'm adjusting, then I'm putting back properly, then replacing my two hands as before. This is called minor activities. Same way, I feel numb, I may have to change my sitting position. It's still the same. Is it? Small activities. Okay, I'm changing. This is small activity. Changing process over, then I replace my hands back as before. These are small activities. So then that means, first of all, the Buddha teaches meditation on the breath. Second, four postures. Nothing is nothing new to us. We always do. The Buddha reminds us, okay, do it mindfully, that's all. When you do it mindfully. This is called meditation. It's not something special. You can do whatever you want, but do it mindfully, meditation. As I say, I need to massage myself. Okay, please do. Mindfully do it. Then you mindfully do a massage. So all these meditation objects are related to our physical body. That is why it's called contemplation of the body. So the other techniques still come on, like the 22 parts of the body. If we are not doctors, we may not be able to see all these 22 parts of the body. In fact, this purpose of this 22 parts body is in order to reduce attachment to our physical body. That's it. So this were meant to particular people. For this teaching meant for some particular people who have very strong attachment to their body. Of course, if we have a chance, we should also contemplate on the disadvantages of the body. But today, under the contemplation of the body, I may not discuss this part. And also, I may not discuss meditation, the corpse, like doing the cemeteries. In the cemetery, I think in meditation in the corpse and the coffins are not so ugly. They already purified it. Okay, anyhow, I will not discuss all these two. Finally, what I'm going to discuss, what the Buddha meant is so-called the great four elements. These four elements also related to our physical body. The body is nothing, just combination of these four great elements. Without awareness, without concentration, without effort, we do not see this nature. The whole body, the whole physical body is composed of these four great elements. Nothing more, nothing less. So finally, the Buddha showed that meditation on the four elements. But emphatically, one way or another, we come to see the four elements. For example, the earth elements, the characteristic of the earth element, hardness and softness. So when we do not have a strong concentration and a clear comprehension, if we feel numb, our mind says, I feel numb. Because we cannot see the nature, true nature, which make the numbness. Okay? So here, the Patavi, the element, the earth element, is hardness and softness. After contemplating, after having deep concentration, meditator one way or another come to experience all these things. Hardness. Two different views. First of all, we meet I feel hard. But second, only this element. Hardness and softness is the characteristic of the earth element. For example, like the water element is a fluidity. Sometimes may not be so obvious, but meditator could experience it. Like too much salivas, this is the water elements. Sometimes getting sweat, tears, and all these things, that's also the water element. The wind element, especially when we are breathing, the wind element is very obvious. The same way when we are walking, the wind element is very obvious. When we are lifting our legs, is it the wind? So making our legs up. The same way when we are dropping our leg, this is the key player in that action is the wind element. The wind is pulling down. Because of the extension, hardness, and softness, we could even do stand. Because of the wind element, we can bend, we can stretch out. Okay. So in meditation time, sometimes we may experience the earth element, it's called hardness and softness. Sometimes we may experience the water element, fluidity, too much sweat, then teardrops, and so on. Sometimes the fire element, heat and cold. Sometimes upper body feels so hot, lower body is too cold, lower body is too cold, upper body is too hot. And that experience we could happen. So finally, the meditation on the four elements is also suggesting or advising us to overcome this view of this is my body, I feel numb, I feel pain. No, in fact, no. All these phenomena are happening the way they are. Only when a meditator understands the physical body is only the composition of these four great elements. Nothing more, nothing less. Okay? Finally, the Buddha also guides us to meditate on the four great elements. These are related to our physical body. Without deep concentration, we may not see these four great elements, but to some degree, we may experience the four great elements. They are very obvious in our body. So in that way, the Buddha teaches in a different way under this contemplation of the body. The first one, contemplation of the body, you mean the breath, breathing. The second, 4 postures. Then our minor activities, to be mindful, to be aware, and to observe on our small activities, small physical activities. Then so-called 32 parts of the body and different level, different types of the corpse. I will discuss these two. Finally, the great 4 elements, which is in our physical body. That's why we can also meditate on the so-called the great 4 elements. You feel hot, just take a note, it's hot. This is you are meditating on the element. Sometimes you feel cold, meditate on the cold. This is you meditate on the element. Some meditators say I have too much saliva. Okay, just take a note, saliva. This you are meditating on the water element. Water element is the liquid or fluidity. So sometimes I got teardrops. Okay, just take a note. Sometimes I got a lot of salivas. Okay, just take a note. These are, you are meditating on the 4 elements. Sometimes so hot. Sometimes our upper body, lower body seem too hot. Cannot explain why, no why, don't ask. If you feel hot, just take a note, it's hot. Then that means meditation on hardness and softness. This is the characteristic of the earth element. Then second one, water element, fluidity. All this is so-called like a saliva, teardrops, sweat, all these, no complaint, just meditate on these things. This is meditation on the water element. The wind element is pulling and pushing and swinging. Sometimes my body is swinging in that way. What is it? What's wrong? Nothing wrong. Just take a note. You are swinging. And slowly stabilize. At that time you are experiencing the wind element. Sometimes I feel light. Yes, you are meditating on the wind element. Lightness. Okay? The earth element, the wind element, the water element, the fire element, heat and cold, sometimes so hot, sometimes so cold. Okay, don't ask why. Do not try to ask the reason why. When you feel cool, just take a note cool. So this is called meditation on the great 4 elements. We are just beginning to this great 4 elements. The body is nothing, just composed of these 4 great elements. So this is the Buddha's teaching, what the Buddha taught in the Mahasatipaṭṭhāna Sutta, contemplation on the body. So in practice, for the beginners, we always focus on breathing and walking meditation. Okay? Breathing meditation and walking meditation. I discussed the full teaching, the entire teachings of the breathing, but you may not be able to follow all these things, so you must go step by step. This is the Buddha's teaching. First of all, just in, out, then short, then long, then the entire breath, then so smooth, you cannot change. All these come naturally when we have deep concentration. Okay? This is all I would like to discuss today under this contemplation of the body. So we may say we are meditating on the body and bodily activity, bodily function, and also something related to our physical body. This is called meditation or mindfulness or contemplation on the body. Okay? If you have any question about today's talk, or maybe you may leave, you may write comment on our Facebook page. Okay, thank you very much. And please don't stop your meditation. And so I hope and I expect if you will keep on doing about 20 minutes a day since the last meditation course, I believe you could have some meditation experience. If you have any questions based on your meditation practice, or if you have any question on what I have taught today, okay, just please write the comment on our Facebook. Thank you very much.